What's really going on there?
One possibility is we did a lot of bad stuff, and we cannot get out of the fact that if we release what it is that we actually know and what has been going on, there's going to be a lot of consequence.
Bad stuff as in?
Maybe people got killed. Maybe people were made crazy when they weren't crazy because they saw things. So if you think about, you know about deconfliction?
Deconfliction?
Yeah.
No.
If you have a blue-on-blue situation, that means that two official representatives of the U.S. government are stumbling over each other. You've got local law enforcement, like the first scene of The Matrix is... You suddenly got really fucking intimidating, Joe. Now I'm scared.
Just ask if you want a real excuse.
Oh, wow. Nicely done.
U.S. alerted Russia to Biden's Ukraine visit for deconfliction purposes. Wow.
Jamie,
so, hey, don't
for the
blow
win.
up this city because Biden's going to be there.
And there are three systems that stop the first scene in The Matrix where the agents show up and local law enforcement is like, I think we can handle one little girl.
Right.
No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead. That's a deconfliction situation. And we have three things, I think, called Case Explorer, RIS Safe, and Safety Net. And we don't know about these things because this is only for grown-ups in the government. So they have to file what it is that they're doing, and then, oh, we've got an undercover agent who's posing as a Colombian drug lord. Don't bust him because we've got 10 years invested in this thing. So I tried to use this system. I called up, I think, Case Explorer for South Florida. And got into a half an hour. Okay, Case Explorer. Okay.
I wonder how you found it.
Try RISS Safe. I think that's the one.
I don't want to keep looking up all these websites.
Yeah, he's going to get in trouble.
Okay. Get flagged, but I'll do it.
So this is how they deconflict blue on blue. But you see, you and I are also blue. We're having a conversation, and we may be stumbling on something the government doesn't want us to know, which is what happened when COVID maybe spilled out. Yeah, you see?
Officer safety event, deconfliction system, safeguarding law enforcement through information sharing.
Right. So this is how they play keep away from the rest of us, where they tell each other what they're doing, and the rest of us can't know what's going on. Now, when you say blue on blue, there's a situation that I want to give a name to because it doesn't have a name, which I'm going to call baby on cobalt and cobalt on baby. Baby and cobalt are two forms of blue. Cobalt is government, and baby is like civilians, like you and me. What happens when a civilian stumbles on one of these operations? They're not allowed to use these systems. I called up the South Florida, I think, Case Explorer, had a half an hour conversation. They were telling me all sorts of stuff. And I said, I'd like to hear about Jeffrey Epstein. It's like, who's calling? I'm a private citizen. This call will be terminated in 5 seconds. And then they hung up on me. So I realized, okay, ordinary human beings cannot use these systems. I think a lot of what's going on is that we keep tripping over government operations in the cobalt sector, but we're baby blue. And they don't have any system for figuring out how to get rid of a civilian who stumbles on it like a drug smuggling operation. Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein traffics your daughter. What do? If he's an intelligence asset, you don't know. You just want the creep away from your kid. So you file a complaint or whatever. Now you've got a situation where they don't know what to do because you've got a civilian and you've got some sort of super secret dark thing that isn't supposed to exist. My claim is that conspiracy theorist is basically cobalt on baby. In other words, the government warning a private citizen, get away from that thing.
Okay.
We will start to destroy your reputation if you do not cease and desist. But there's no plan. So if you were the guy who figured out D-Day, you're like, well, there's a huge increase in the inflatable balloons. I think that they might be tanks. There's no troops under that army designation. You'd be a threat to this incredible operation because you have free speech and nobody knows how to shut you up.
Right.
So consider that none of us know the answer to what does the government do when private citizens start to figure out statecraft narratives are bullshit. So, for example, Jeff Sachs was called in to supervise the investigation into the origin of COVID at The Lancet. And he puts in place all of the people who were involved with this through Peter Daszak. He later figures out, oh my God, I just put the foxes in charge of the hen house. And he blows the whistle. So what if we have like since the 1970s, a 45-year-old workaround of the Biological Weapons Convention? In Wuhan, we've created this thing called One Health and the EcoHealth Alliance we took over as a hippie charity. And if you ever take a look at the board of advisors of EcoHealth Alliance, it's wildly overpowered, including my old mentor, who's the head of the Sloan Foundation and the ex-head of the National Science Foundation. None of you guys look at the board of directors? Crazy. We keep tripping on these official statecraft narratives. That's why they won't let us question the Zelensky stuff. They won't let us question the origin of COVID. They won't let us question the vaccines. They won't let us question whether there are therapeutics. These are all cobalt on baby things. It's horse dewormer. What's wrong with you people? You're all lunatics. You're pathological losers. Okay, I get it. You're just destroying my Wikipedia entry because I keep asking questions, because actually you need to have a timeout. You're out of control. I'm fine. But you're going to turn this into pathologizing. When you pathologize people who've seen the truth, now you've got a real problem. You gaslit American citizens because you couldn't do your effing job? Really? That's interesting. Did you kill anyone? Did you do wet work? Did you do digital wet work? What did we just find out from the Twitter files, right? How many times did I say, I'm being throttled, I'm being manipulated? The government doesn't want to take responsibility. We have this, GEC that's from the State Department. We have CISA inside of the Department of Homeland Security. These people are creating fake conversations on Twitter. They're creating fake reports about the Hunter Biden laptop to influence the election. We didn't have a free and fair election. It had nothing to do with ballot stuffing or miscounting. So I believe that partially why we're not talking is that we've done so many bad things around UFOs that we don't want to come clean.
Wow, that's interesting.